Greetings, beautiful humans. My name is AJ. Welcome to our Healing in Nature. I'm just getting set up. We're actually starting at 5. And hopefully, let me see here. Trying to get the information in the description of the video, but I have my Zoom room open if anyone would like to join me. And today we are going to be talking about beliefs and how they create symptoms. Let me see if I can figure this thing out. This is my first time running a Zoom room, streaming live. So I hope it goes well. Boom. There we go. Now I can add the description. Almost done with the setup. Boom. I think we are all set. Let's see. Trying to see how to tell if anyone's joining us. If you're watching this later, it will get better. I'm just getting everything set up. We are going to hang out for at least an hour. If people stop by, I have scheduled up to 2 hours that I can hang out with you guys. I have my Zoom room open. All of the details to get in are in the description of the video. And if you're too scared to jump in the Zoom room, you can text me questions. I'm going to try to look at the YouTube comments as well. You can comment. But I'm trying to set up what I started the beginning of the summer. When I was starting my business, I started doing healing in nature events. And I would just go set up at a park and I would just invite people to stop by and talk about meditation, mindfulness, breath work, earthing, eye gazing. And I've met so many people, but here in Vancouver, where I'm staying, it's getting cold and nobody goes out to the park in the rain. And so I thought I would invite everyone in the YouTube's land and on the interwebs to join me at my house here in the old Mr. Glass van. And I thought I'd prop the doors open and we could check out nature, but I forgot how early it's getting dark. But at least you can hear the rain outside and see a little bit of grass. Got a light set up. It's not doing anything for the outside. It's not powerful enough. But if nothing else, we're going to have some fun and talk about self-hypnosis. We're going to talk about how to change our beliefs, how to recognize false beliefs in symptoms, and hopefully you guys will have some questions and interact with me. If not today, maybe Wednesday. I'm going to be doing this every Sunday and every Wednesday, as long as I have Wi-Fi and some power. It's hard being a traveler. Right now, I have all my equipment set up on one extension cord that goes in and plugs into my friend's power strip with about 1,000 other things plugged into it. So oftentimes I have no power or it goes on and off, but I'm grateful for what I got. Can't complain. So let me see how to check if anyone is joining us live on YouTube. It's hard to tell. Let me make sure that I got everything in the description so you guys can join me on Zoom if you want. The phone's not letting me see it. There we go. Oh, looks like I got someone watching. Greetings. I can't tell who's here, but thank you for joining me. Today, I have opened up my Zoom room and I'm trying to see if it tells you how to get on there. I put it in the description of the video, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. Ah, there it is. Yes. If you look at the description of the video, you can connect on Zoom and join me if you have any questions, or if you don't want to get on Zoom, you are welcome to text me, and all the information's in the description. Text me any questions to 360-798-2184. That's my office line. That's also the line you text if you want to talk to me about services or scheduling a consultation to see if we're a good fit to work together. 360-798-2184. So keep that in mind. About ready to get started here in a few minutes. I think everything's streaming. Checking out my YouTube. It looks like it's going good. And yeah, all you have to do is look at the description and you have links to everything and the phone number if you want to text. My whole idea for this event is just to hang out in nature with you guys, meet people. I've met dozens and dozens of people over the summer that would just stop by and talk to me about their experiences with mindfulness and meditation. Lots of people interested in breath work. Probably my most popular topic was eye gazing. I had people stop by and try eye gazing with me for free 5-minute sessions, and just really met some good friends at the park and getting a group of people, all that want to heal their mind and body and want to learn about consciousness. So that's what I'm doing today. With my first live stream, I have a Zoom room that can take up to 100 people. If anyone wants to come in and just hang out with me, talk about many of these ideas, mindfulness, meditation, earthing, your experience, questions you have, like to learn from everyone. We all can teach each other no matter how long we've been doing it. I've been practicing mindfulness and breath work for over 10 years now. It's completely changed my life. And I just love to be on other people's journeys. So if you're joining me today or you're watching this, the replay later on, thank you for spending these precious moments with me. And hope we have a fun time today. Let's start making this a regular thing, Sundays and Wednesdays, just to hang out. Hopefully, as I get more clients and my business grows, I'll be able to show you a different view outside my door, maybe get a better light. So when we're doing this at night, you can see outside. But that's my goal, is to open my doors and show you the ocean and rivers and all kinds of new views of nature. But for right now, a little low on gas, so you got to see my front yard. Zeph should be joining us soon. He's out in that yard somewhere chasing something. Come on, Zeph. It's about the time he comes anyways. All right, let me see. So, like I already said, we are going to be talking about beliefs today. And the reason I chose that as the topic, because so many times my clients will call me and they think they have problems and they'll start describing their problems. And after talking to me for a few minutes, they start to see that the problems are actually just false beliefs. And so I thought that was a good place to start with our first YouTube live stream, just talking about beliefs, how they show up. Because it's kind of tricky. Oftentimes, we're analyzing the raw data in front of us, life's coming at us, and we think that something that happened is a problem, or we judge it as bad. And oftentimes it's just the way we're looking at it. When we can shift our focus, we can see around corners and move mountains. And so today we're going to talk about that a little bit. And of course, anything else you guys want to talk about. I'm just trying to come up with some stuff to get a conversation going. So anything you want to talk about, go ahead and text me to 360-798-2184 or comment it. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments. If anyone comments anything, or you can just jump in my Zoom room. Link is in the description. I tried to make it with no passcode, but then it said you had to sign into Zoom, and I didn't want that, so I made the passcode 1133. So it should be easy. And this is my first time ever hosting a Zoom, so I hope I know what I'm doing, and I hope I've set it up right. Let me see if anyone's trying to get in Zoom. Not yet. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't kill it. Okay, good. You guys went away for a second. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I'm not sure how it all works. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to go check and see if you can. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I think everything's working. I tried to do this last Wednesday, and I was all set, and then the Wi-Fi at the house I'm staying outside of went out, and I couldn't get the password on Wednesday. So, but now everything looks to be working just fine. Looks like I still got somebody watching, so thank you for staying with me. Or if you switch and there's someone new, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how to see the comments while I'm on here, so oh, maybe I'll have to look at my app. Yeah, let me try my app here. A little YouTube's comment app. Let's see. YouTube Studio. I wish you guys could see outside. I have a couple of really cool trees in the front yard I'm staying outside of. They're plum trees. and they make some yummy fruit every year. Okay, I should be able to see the comments here. Or if you guys text them to me at 360-798-2184, I can definitely see that. That should pop up on my phone. So we're going to start by talking a little bit about hypnosis, because that's kind of what I base most of my coaching on, is hypnosis. I studied psychology for years trying to fix my own mental health. And I mean, it helped sort things out, understanding psychology. But once I understood it, I realized there was something missing. And so I started studying hypnosis. And really, that's the missing key. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Just trying to get my notes up here. So a lot of people think that they know what hypnosis is. And I always find it fascinating how much easier it becomes to discover something new when the mind begins to soften just a little. Because before someone can really understand what hypnosis is, it could feel good to simply notice what it isn't. And as you're sitting there, perhaps noticing the way that your breath lifts and falls all on its own, you might already begin to realize that hypnosis is not magic. There's no spell, no power over you, no moment where you stop being you. In fact, you might already notice how comforting it is to know that you stay in complete control, even as the mind drifts. And you might have heard people ask things like, is hypnosis dangerous? Or could I get stuck in a hypnotic state? It's interesting how just as soon as those words appear, the mind can just let them drift away. Like exhaling tension you never needed. Because hypnosis is not mind control. You can only go where you choose to go. And you'll only respond to what feels right to you. Some people, as they hear that, naturally begin to relax even more deeply. Because giving yourself permission to relax tends to create a gentle warmth in the body that feels surprisingly familiar. And isn't it interesting how when something is familiar, it becomes easier to let go? Hypnosis is not sleep. Your mind may wander. Your eyes may blink heavier. Yet a part of you always stays aware, listening, choosing, following only what feels good to follow. Just like those moments when you're driving and you realize you've missed a few miles, yet you were perfectly safe, automatically doing what needed to be done as your awareness drifted inward. That natural drifting is already a trance, and you've done it thousands of times already. And as you consider that, you might notice your thoughts beginning to slow, your shoulders softening, or even the subtle way the body sighs in relief when the mind hears something true. Because now you're ready for that simple clarity, that quiet understanding, like a truth your unconscious mind already knows. Long before you heard these words. So, what is hypnosis? You can let this settle into you, even as you relax more deeply with each word. Hypnosis is simply the art of guiding your attention inward so your unconscious mind can help you make the changes you already want to make safely, naturally, effortlessly. A skill you already use every day, but now done on purpose. And as you let this understanding sink in, you might find yourself drifting just a little more into the comfort of your own inner world, where changes become effortless and understanding becomes easy. Because hypnosis is simply learning how to use the mind you've always had in the way it was always meant to work. Plain and simple. And before we wrap up, I think it helps to understand why hypnosis has been so misunderstood for so long. For many years, people only saw hypnosis the way it was shown on stages. A performer would ask for volunteers, pick the most playful, imaginative people, and give suggestions meant purely for entertainment. And the crowd would laugh, and the volunteers would go along with the joke because they wanted to play, not because hypnosis forced anything. You see, stage hypnosis was never about healing, never about growth, never about the truth of what the mind can do. It was simply a show. And like any show, it exaggerated things. It made hypnosis look mysterious, strange, even a little silly at times. And when something powerful is misunderstood, people sometimes mock it because it's easier to laugh at what we don't understand than to explore it. But the real use of hypnosis, the quiet, everyday use that actually matters, has nothing to do with entertainment. Real hypnosis is used for identity change because it works directly with the part of your mind that decides who you believe yourself to be. That deeper mind, the quiet one beneath the surface, is where your habits live, where your emotional patterns live, where your automatic reactions come from, and where your sense of this is just who I am is formed. And when you enter this relaxed, focused state, that deeper part becomes open, curious, and willing to update old patterns that no longer fit who you're becoming. That's why people use hypnosis to quiet destructive habits, to release old fears, to step into confidence, to build discipline, to heal from past experiences, to rewrite the stories that they tell about themselves. Because the moment the unconscious mind receives a new idea that feels true, it begins to recognize your identity around it quietly, naturally, and automatically. No tricks, no magic, no force. Just you discovering how to communicate with your own mind. Here's it. In a way that creates real, lasting change. And when people finally understand that, all the confusion disappears and hypnosis becomes what it's always really been: a simple, natural way to become the person that you were always meant to grow into. So that is why I teach my clients self hypnosis. I call myself a human programmer because over a 5-year period, I've taken all the unconscious programs and unconscious beliefs inside my own head and I've rewritten them consciously. And I'm still finding remnants of the old beliefs because it's a lifelong process. But once I started using that process and helping others do it, I could see that it's something that's transferable. Being a human programmer, working with me for a while, you become a human programmer. And pretty soon you can start to see how the programs work and how they manifest. And so that's what we're doing here today in my Healing in Nature event. So thank you for joining me. I don't know how many I have on this live right now. It looks like maybe only me. That's okay. You can watch this later. What I just read you was a conversational hypnosis meant to discuss with your unconscious mind and teach it what hypnosis is. And really, I switched a long time ago. I used to call myself a hypnotherapist, but then I realized in Washington there's something with therapists, and so you need to be an actual therapist. And so I just switched over completely before I started my business to advertising that I teach self-hypnosis, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Even if you come to my office and I put you into trance and use your words to reprogram you, you're the one who allows it and you're the only one who can allow it. So we've seen in many demonstrations in my classes that if you say a command to somebody that goes against their core beliefs, they will come right out of a trance. So there's nothing scary about hypnosis for self-help. What's scary is the control and hypnosis in programming, in the programs on TV, in the movies that we watch, and in politics. The things around us that we don't know are using hypnosis. That's what's scary. But hypnosis for therapy, for fixing yourself, is very safe. Especially when you do it the way that I do it. I don't ever use my words. I always use my client's own words to tell their unconscious mind what to do. You gonna say hi, Zeph? Did you get cold out there? You gotta look good for the camera, buddy. Say hi to everyone. Oh, you did a little blink. Should you go play in the rain? So, if you're watching this live and you'd like to join me in any way, either a question or join me on Zoom, either is available. I have my Zoom room open and all the information is in the live video's description. Oh, I got people texting me, asking me. So the Zoom link is in the description to this video if you're watching this on YouTube. And my phone number is in there as well, my office number. You can call or text that number. I'd prefer if you text right now because I don't want to be fielding phone calls. But if you text a question right now, I can see it. It'll pop up on my phone. The phone number is 360-798-2184. Sorry, I got people texting me. Send it a link. I might have my friend Ted join us. We'll see. We will see. But even if you're watching this replay later on, the replay of the live stream, you can join me Sunday and Wednesdays from 5 to 7. I might not stay clear till 7 right now if people aren't joining yet, but I'll stay as long as I can. Hopefully, if I do this regularly, I'll get a few people joining me soon. And hopefully I'll get a better light soon so you guys can all see nature. Right now it's just a dark cloud out there. But maybe you can hear the rain. I sure can. Checking my Zoom room. Can go into this next part talking about beliefs here in a second. I just wanted to get everything wrote this next part thinking that we would have daylight. So it starts with saying, as you look at this scene in nature, I was hoping you would have a scene to look at, but now it's just the darkness. That's okay. You're going to have to imagine the movement of the trees, the way the wind gently bends them. You might notice something interesting. Nature bends, but it never breaks from its own flexibility. And humans, we tend to break where we've learned not to bend. And that break, that strain, that place where life feels difficult is almost always the symptom of a false belief. So today, while we breathe with the landscape, let's explore how to identify those beliefs and how to gently reprogram them the same way nature renews itself, quietly, consistently, and most importantly, from within. You may start to notice that the thing you want help with is easier to transform when someone walks with you. So remember, my Zoom room is open. The pen is simple. It's 1133. The Zoom link is in the description. Some of you will feel yourselves drift in without even thinking about it. I hope. I want to talk to some of you today. So let's talk a little bit about symptoms of false beliefs. In nature, when a plant doesn't grow, we don't blame the plant. We check the roots. And humans are the same way. When we see repeating patterns, anxiety loops, emotional overreactions, procrastination, self-sabotage, relationship struggles, doubt and confusion, feeling stuck or small, these are not personality flaws. They're not curses. They are root level signals telling you the belief underneath the soil isn't supporting the life that you're trying to grow. And just like a tree leans toward the light, your unconscious mind leans towards the belief it learned the earliest, even if that belief no longer fits your life. And quite honestly, even if you've addressed the belief at times, still it can be underlyingly affecting you. So it's very important to see the symptoms, because even when we work on them for a while, they can still be affecting us. In childhood, your unconscious mind was like soft earth. Whatever was planted took root. One harsh word, one moment of fear, one absence of safety, one confusing experience in your mind created a belief to explain the world and to protect you. Beliefs like, I'm not safe, I'm not enough, my needs don't matter, love is dangerous, I can't trust myself, if I succeed, I'll be punished. These beliefs made sense for the child who formed them. But no tree is meant to live forever in the shade it grew under. At some point, we outgrow the old environment, and the old belief becomes a cage, preventing the natural expansion that your soul is calling you into. So, how do we identify the exact belief beneath the problem? Here's a simple truth with nature. It teaches us where the leaves are dying, the roots are thirsty. Your problems, the things that you call problems in your life, they point directly to the belief beneath. So to identify the belief, you need to ask, if this pattern is trying to protect me, what must it believe is true? Now think about that, because the patterns of our self-destructive behavior only repeat to keep us safe. They're a childish tool to keep us in safety. So when we see something repeating that we don't like, that is a signpost that an old belief is there, because it's repeating to keep us safe, but we've outgrown it. That's why we don't like what happened. So the first step is recognizing that what we don't like in our life is a product of how we're seeing things, and asking the question, if this pattern is trying to protect me, what must it believe is true? So here's some examples. If you're feeling anxiety, that symptom, anxiety, is a product of the belief, I'm unsafe. Procrastination, if you see procrastination show up, that's one of my biggest problems. That means that somewhere beneath is a belief that failure hurts more than stagnation. If you're seeing self-sabotage in your own behavior, that means that there's a belief that good things don't last for me. And if you're attracting unhealthy relationships, like I've done for pretty much my whole life, then that means you believe, like I believed, love must be earned. Hang on one second. I'm going to text some friends my YouTube channel so they can find us. Hopefully they'll join us live here. If I can find my YouTube channel. Here, I'm just going to share the live video, hopefully. No, it won't. Oh, yes, I will. There we go. Share. Copy link. Where'd you go? There we go. Sorry to pause. I'm just trying to get us someone to join me on Zoom so we can have a conversation. All right. So, when we see these symptoms, anxiety, procrastination, self sabotage, or constantly attracting unhealthy relationships, instead of looking at the raw data and saying, why, or like in my case, I started to have a belief that all women were crazy. But what was really happening is I believed that love must be earned. So I was attracting the ones who were using that belief. And really, it was just a natural product of my belief to attract somebody like that. But I got caught up for years in seeing the raw data, the relationships in front of me, instead of looking inside. And so it took me years and years of practicing mindfulness and meditation to start seeing the beliefs that were causing the outcome. So that's what we're talking about today. When we see these things, we need to realize that it's a pattern that we're seeing to keep us safe. Even the unhealthy relationships, when that happens, we have to recognize that we must feel safe in an unhealthy relationship. Otherwise, we would have learned how to have better relationships. So once we see it, we ask, if this pattern is trying to protect me, what must it believe is true? When you ask this question sincerely, your unconscious responds immediately because it finally feels like someone is listening. And really, that's what meditation does. When you start learning that the unconscious mind communicates to you through visions of like memories or smells or basically metaphors, and you start learning how to interpret your own unconscious mind's communication with you, you basically just start working these problems out. You can start saying in your meditation, why am I feeling this anxiety? And your unconscious mind will start showing you throughout the day what is causing it and how to fix it. You just have to learn how to listen. And so, really, that's what I do in my groups here. I have a group called the Balance Life Wheel Online Mastermind that's going to be starting here in less than a week or two, I'm hoping. I've been saying that. I said it was going to start in October, but been having Wi-Fi issues and all kinds of stuff. But we're going to be starting our weekly Zoom meeting. And that group, we take one area of our lives each week and we analyze it and look for false beliefs and we reverse engineer them and we celebrate growth together. So, and in these healing in nature events that I'm doing for free, I'm hoping to teach everything that we're doing in those groups because my idea is to give away all of my knowledge for free in these lives and in my videos, and then just hold groups for people who want more help and charge as little as necessary to have big groups of people get together and heal. So if you think that's a good idea and you want to be part of it, you can text me at 360-798-2184 info. You can text me info, group info, and I will get you all the links to join those groups and the pricing. If you want to do any one-on-one work with me, you can text that same number, 360-798-2184, and say coaching. Or you can text a question right now about how to identify false beliefs, or text me a problem that you don't think is a false belief, and we'll see if we can reverse engineer it. Or if you're real brave, you can go to the description of this video and click the Zoom link and type in 1133 when you get into the Zoom room and join me live and we'll talk. So now that we kind of know how to identify a false belief by looking at our problems and our symptoms of anxiety, depression, those are all symptoms of false beliefs. It's good to start to understand how to reprogram the belief using neurolinguistic programming or self-hypnosis. Once you've identified the belief, we don't fight it. We reroute it. This is where NLP and self-hypnosis come in. I teach nature-based 3-step process. 1, uproot, you scared me, Zeph. Uproot the old belief. Number 2, plant the opposite truth. Number 3, water it with self-hypnosis and affirmations. So let's go over these steps so that you can put them to work in your own life. Step 1, uproot the old belief. Once you've identified it, say gently to yourself, this belief was planted in me. It is not who I am. You need to feel the separation between yourself and the belief and feel the space and feel your roots loosen from it. Right, Seth? He's like, I don't care. Just give me some food. In step 2, and see, these are a process. This isn't something you usually just sit down once and do. It's something that you make a realization, and then over a week or 2 period, you just notice it. There's no hurry. There's no rush. You're just noticing. And in the noticing, you get more information. And then we learn how to plant the opposite truth. Just like a gardener selects the seed, you choose the new belief. We ask ourselves, what belief would give me more light, more freedom, more growth? For example, from I'm not enough, say we've identified that we don't believe we're enough. We could change that to I'm worthy as I am. Or from I can't trust myself to my inner wisdom is reliable. From I am unsafe to I can create safety in my body. You don't need to fully believe it at first. It just needs to be something that could be true. And then you need to look for circumstances where it is true. We're simply planting the seed in the beginning. But sometimes the seed has to be way off from where we want to go. Like if we are stuck in anger or if we're stuck in sadness, it might be healthy to get into anger so that we can get out of sadness. So we have to learn how the emotions work so that we can move ourselves out of them slowly. It's not something that you can go from one extreme to the other. These people out there teaching that affirmations are the end all to changing a belief. You just say, I am enough in the mirror and you'll believe it eventually. Maybe after 20 years of saying it in the mirror, you'll get tired of believing you're not enough and switch it. But there's easier ways to do it by shifting slightly and moving the belief, slowly adjusting the belief rather than trying to just move a mountain instantly. So then step 3, watering these new beliefs with self-hypnosis. So imagine your future self, strong, calm, healed, standing here in nature with you, out there in the darkness. This version of you kneels down to the younger you who formed the old belief and whispered the new truth to their heart. And just like that, a seed dissolves the moment it sprouted. The old belief softens, breaks apart, and the new one begins to grow. And that's the key. This visualization of your future self, planting it in your younger self, starts the process. It's not an overnight thing. After a few months of practicing self-hypnosis, after a few years, it can become an instant thing. But in the beginning, it's a slow process. It's a learning. This is how your identity changes, not by force, but by alignment. Slowly aligning, slowly seeing the false belief in the way that you're interpreting life, and then reformatting that belief. And if this process resonates with you and you want to practice this in real time with me guiding you, with others who are growing alongside you, my Zoom room is open. The link is in the comments. You are invited to step out of the old soil and grow in place where you're supported. And if you feel called to deepen this work, my coaching, my courses, and the Balanced Life Wheel Mastermind are all designed to help you reprogram the human mind faster and more naturally than you've ever experienced. Nature doesn't rush, yet everything transforms. And when you're surrounded by the right environment, so do you. So that's what we're building here. Starting today with this live stream every Sunday and Wednesday, I'm going to be just chilling on YouTube from 5 to 7. And hopefully we'll get a group of people all talking about these things, all teaching each other how we identify false beliefs and how we change them. Let me see. So now that you've seen how false beliefs grow like roots beneath the surface, I want to take you a little deeper into how your identity forms and how easily it can be rewritten when you're in the right state, the right environment, and the right conversation. And as you continue watching this natural scene, this beautiful natural scene of darkness, the quiet breeze, the stillness, the flow, you may find that your mind begins to open in a very specific way, the same way the earth opens before a seed breaks through. Your identity is simply the sum of the beliefs you never questioned. And when those beliefs formed before you were old enough to choose, your identity becomes a reflection of a past that no longer fits. So if your identity says, I'm anxious, I'm an overthinker, I attract toxic people, I'm not disciplined, I'm just this way, those aren't true. Those are echoes of old beliefs that are still running in your system. And nature teaches us when an echo is too loud, you walk closer to the source. So today, we're walking towards source together. I want you to look at one living thing. Now, I said in the scene, in the script that I wrote, but you're going to have to oh, I got more people asking for the Zoom link. 1 second. Let me text it. We might get someone joining us after all. I can't type. In the description. Pin is 1133. So if you're watching this, the link is in the description to join me on Zoom. All you have to do is hit the more underneath the video and see the description, and it will say join the Zoom call, and then the passcode is 1133. Figure that was easy enough for everyone to remember. Okay, so I want you to think of a vision of one living thing in a nature scene: a tree, a river, a stone, a patch of sunlight. Oh, let's see. Hello to everyone watching on YouTube. If you want to join me, the link is in the description. And the passcode is 1133. And you'll just hop onto Zoom and we'll be talking. So go ahead and hop on if you want. You can interrupt me anytime. I don't care. Nobody wants to hear me talk for hours and hours. We want to hear a conversation. So hop on. So imagine a tree, a river, a stone, a patch of sunlight, whatever your attention naturally chooses. And imagine that this piece of nature represents the part of you trying to grow. Just notice it. Notice its texture, its shape, its stillness or movement. and ask silently, what part of me is this reflecting? You don't need a logical answer. Your unconscious knows how to speak through imagination. That's how we control our unconscious mind, is through our imagination. And as you observe this reflection, you may notice there's a gentle shift happening inside, a kind of remembering of who you were before the false belief took hold. This this is the beginning of identity reprogramming. Identity changes in 3 stages: awareness, compassion, repetition. Awareness is when you see the belief for what it is, a root, not the whole tree. Compassion is when you stop blaming yourself for growing in the soil you were given. And repetition is where the magic happens. Doing small, daily practices that install new patterns into the nervous system. That's why I teach meditation, self hypnosis, earthing, breath work, and identity based rituals. Because when you repeat the right things, your unconscious begins to recognize your entire reality. You become aware of what is, and you see through all the illusions. Many people spend years trying to do this alone, but it only takes a few guided sessions to create permanent change when your unconscious is listening. And right now, it is. And as you continue listening, you may notice a soft curiosity forming, wondering what it might be like to take the next step, to go a little deeper, to experience this work directly instead of passively. And while you allow that curiosity to grow, you might begin to imagine joining me on Zoom. The link is right there in the comments. When you and I can actually interact, and I can guide you personally through deeper NLP or hypnosis experiences. Now, if the Zoom link isn't working, someone can text me and let me know at 360-798-2184. Just text and say Zoom isn't working, or click it and see if it works. And when you get in, press 1133 for the pin and you will join me. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you have not yet. But any like on that video on YouTube will help more people see it. Drop a comment so that the algorithm knows that this work matters. And if you're feeling moved, you can send a donation. I have a donation link, and the next donations are going to buy me some socks. Been outside with no socks for a few days. I'm okay though. It's been fun. But every one of your donations goes directly to supporting me and Zeph's journey. So we appreciate everyone. You guys have all been so generous. And some days you guys are the only reason Zeph gets a snack. So I'm going to talk for a second about my balanced life wheel mastermind. If you're the kind of person who thrives in a community, who learns best by being surrounded with others who are also healing, growing, and rewiring, then the Balanced Life Wheel online mastermind might be the perfect container for you. Wow, I think I have a misspelling in my little ad. I don't know. It's where we take everything that I'm teaching here and apply it consistently, practically in every area of your life: identity, relationships, health, family, money, purpose, emotional mastery. This is the work that helps you finally feel like your future self is running your life instead of your past self. And if something in you is already whispering, this might be for me, you can just text me right now at 360-798-2184, and I'll answer your questions personally. All right, so let's take a breath, come back to this moment. Listen to the rain, the wind, the light. Well, there's no light. The sound of nature around us. Because in the next segment, I'm going to guide you through a simple but profound technique, a way to talk to your unconscious mind in the same language it uses to create your identity. A process you can use to dissolve any false belief within minutes, anytime, anywhere. Just like nature heals quietly, your mind can too. Now, if you're a beginner, this might take a little bit of time to learn because the instant shift happens once you know how to do it, but it's worth the learning because you can shift things instantly once you become the human programmer. Now, you might start to notice something interesting about the problems you've carried because problems rarely stay in the mind alone. They settle, they root themselves somewhere inside the body. And most people never slow down enough to notice where. False beliefs, especially the ones installed by family conditioning, high control groups, trauma, or years of self doubt, tend to live in the nervous system as sensations you've gotten used to ignoring. And so I want to guide you into something simple, a way for you to locate the belief without knowing the belief yet. Because the body always knows before the mind does. So, step one, locate the symptom in the body. Take just a moment and become aware of whatever problem has been following you. Overthinking, anxiety, rumination, self criticism, guilt, emotional triggers, feeling stuck in life, feeling like you're not enough for your goals. And as you allow that problem to lightly come to mind without diving into it, just notice where in the body it seems to tug or pressure or tighten. Because every false belief has a home base. Some people feel it in the chest, some in the throat, some in the stomach, some in the back of the head, and some feel it like a fog all around them, clouding everything. Whatever you notice is correct. Now, just observe that sensation. If it had a texture, what would it be? If it had a shape, what would it be? A color or a movement or a temperature? Describing the feeling is what loosens the belief because you shift from being inside the problem to observing it from the outside when you notice these things about it. And soon as you can describe something, you are no longer focused. Oh, you are no longer fused with it. You become the witness instead of the prisoner. So we're creating a vision in our imagination of what the feeling looks like, and we're describing it in our mind, and we're observing it We're using our imagination to create a picture of it, of something that we can't see. You can't see anxiety. You might be able to see a mother-in-law who causes anxiety, but you can't see the anxiety that she causes inside of you. And she's not the one causing it. It's your beliefs about her and her power over you that are causing it. So we're learning how to change that belief or find the belief by visualizing the anxiety and asking these questions. We'll go over them one more time. If it had a texture, what would it be? If it had a shape, what would that shape be? If it had a color or a movement or a temperature. Because your shift from being inside the problem to observing it from the outside, as soon as we do this, we're describing it. We are no longer fused with it. We become the witness instead of its prisoner. Now that you've located the symptom, you make it verbal. If this feeling could speak, if it could say the first sentence that pops up, what does it say about you or the world? It might say, I'm not safe. People will leave me. I'm going to fail. It's my fault. I have to earn love. I can't trust myself. Good things don't last. Something bad will happen. Whatever emerges is perfect, even if it's vague, even if it's just one word. This is your unconscious belief trying to surface so that it can be changed. Any response you get, any imaginary answer, is the unconscious mind interacting. It is the beginning of becoming the human programmer. Now, gently hold that belief in your mind as if you're holding something that used to belong to you, but doesn't anymore. And simply say in your mind, this is a belief, not a truth. Feel the shift. Feel that tiny separation is the beginning of neuroplastic changes. Over the next sessions, we'll learn how to collapse old beliefs, reparent the inner child connected to it, feed the future self that replaces it, and dissolve the entire belief system from the nervous system outward. But for now, just breathe and just notice the belief loosening its grip. And as you're noticing these shifts, some part of you might already be curious how much deeper this could go. When we work together live, face to face, on Zoom, hint, hint, and you can right now, or at any moment when it feels natural, tap the link in the description and join me on Zoom. The passcode is 1133. Or text your questions, comments to 360-798-2184. And some people, as they're learning this, find themselves wanting to support this work by liking the stream, sharing it, or commenting something simple, even donating to help keep these nature healing live streams going twice a week. And others, maybe even you, discover that you are ready for the next step. A private session, identity coaching, or the Balanced Life Wheel online mastermind, where we rebuild your inner world from the ground up. And if you feel that pull, you can text me directly Again, 360-798-2184. And this week, and possibly for the next week, I'm giving away a free 15-minute consultation. So you could text that number so that we can talk for a minute for free to see if we're a good fit to work together. Because you already know the right guidance at the right moment can shift everything. And this just might be that moment. All right, we're getting feedback. Let me see. We're going to see if we get someone joining us. Ooh, it's 555, or it was a second ago. Now it's 556, I think. I can't read my phone, it's too small. Yep, 556 now. Let's see if somebody joins us. Well, maybe my Zoom room isn't set up right this time. We will see. I can't jump in there and check it out myself. People are telling me that there's another password on the YouTube video. Let me look and see. Meeting ID. Oh, yeah. The meeting ID is not the passcode. The passcode is 1133. Oh, it's saying that the meeting. Oh, the meeting ID is not correct. Okay, guys, let me go and fix that. I think I got the wrong one in there. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Maybe I have the wrong one in there and I might have to fix it next time, but let me see if I can fix it right now. More. There's got to be a way for me to invite someone to this call. Don't go, Zeph. You get so scared. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this is my first time ever doing a Zoom live stream. And so I don't know how to share this. Invite. There we go. Invite. Where is the invite? Email. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get the right. I'm going to put it in the comments, you guys. Yeah, I think I got the wrong. Okay. Boom. Check the first comment here in a minute to join the Zoom meeting. Let me see if I can do it. I'm trying to get to the first comment here. Oh, how do I get to the live chat? Right here. Boom. Control V. Let's see if this one works. Oh, it's not going to let me do all the links. Oh, no. Okay, let's see. Nope, I had to. Okay, it didn't copy. Sorry, guys. This is fun. This is fun learning live on YouTube's. I'm not nervous, not at all. For all my XJW friends out there, the first one of these, I did one of these on a couple Wednesdays ago and it didn't go very well. But man, when I first started the video, I felt like I was on stage at the Kingdom Hall. It scared me to death. It took me a minute to get used to it. Okay, now copy. Now I'm going over to, oh God, almost ended the live stream. old guy in using the interwebs. Oh, it's not letting me comment. Oh, we got lots of comments on here. For some reason, it's not letting me. Okay, I'm just going to have to go and change it on the description, you guys. We'll get this figured out. I got to jump over here to my video. Thank you for telling me that the link was wrong. It will be fixed in just a moment, hopefully. Your videos. Live. Okay, I am in the description fixing it right now. And this link should be the same next time. I'm hoping to just use the same. Control V. What just happened? I have no idea. Oh, good, it worked, I think. Okay, save. Please try the description link one more time and see if it works. Well, okay, let me. I wish I could see all the comments on YouTube while I was in here, you guys. Sorry. I will look at all of them after. Maybe I can. Okay, I think we got it all fixed. I'm hoping it works now. If you click the link in the description to join the Zoom and then put in 1133, you should join me on Zoom and then we'll be alive and we can talk. Let me see if I can. Trying to invite one more person so we might get someone to hang out with us so it's not just me. I don't know if it'll tell me if someone joins. Well, thank you to everyone who's been hanging out with me. Already, I've got a bigger response than I thought. Thought it was just going to be me all by myself, and I'm already getting texts and comments. Okay, let me see if I can see all these comments. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell if there's comments on there. Maybe I saw all the comments on my channel. Anyways, okay. Let's see if the Zoom room works. Okay. Oh, Zeffy. So, let's get back to our script here. I got someone joining me, Ephraim. How you doing, man? You can turn on your there you
What's
go.
going on?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Good to see you. Nice to see you face to face.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me turn off my YouTube. I'll stay on here.
Oh
Otherwise,
yeah,
I'm
good
gonna
idea.
go.
Good idea. Thank you for joining me. This is a good friend. How do you say your name? I'm afraid I'm going to missay it. It's Ephraim?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Ephraim?
You
Okay.
got it. You got it.
My name being Aaron, I was thinking I was going to say it wrong. So, but I love it. That's awesome. Ephraim. That's awesome. So, what's up?
Just enjoying. Man,
Yeah.
it looks like it's cold out where you're at.
It is a little bit. It's been a rough couple of days because I've been outside for like 3 days straight and I wasn't quite prepared for it. But I did some meditation the last couple of days and got my body in shape, and now I'm kind of acclimated to it. So, I'm good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, were you able to watch any? Did any of it make sense what I've been talking about so far?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah,
Mm,
definitely. Yeah,
nice.
I made some comments. Oh, definitely. Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Well, now you're letting me see how my Zoom room works. This is pretty cool. Be able to talk to people. I'm hoping that I'll be able to make different rooms for different discussions. So if we get more people in here over time, then we can just break up into different rooms and hang out.
That would be cool. That would be
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. I jumped in on the YouTube kind of about 45 minutes ago, I think. Yeah, about
okay.
45 minutes. So I didn't start from the very beginning, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Any any insights you have on what I've been talking about? Anything that you want to run by me?
I think it's all spot on. I mean, the compassion thing sounds really good too. That compassion aspect of changing identity sounds really good, you know. I mean, the
Yeah,
idea of like that, there wasn't your fault. Be patient, you know.
absolutely.
That sounds
Very
really good.
important.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
important because most of us did not have skilled parents in that area, and they just repeated old programs and really weaponized our shame and fear. And so it's our job to go in and rework all of that.
Yeah.
It's a hard job in the beginning because we're learning how to do it with all the misfiring programs. But as you learn how to do it, pretty soon it just becomes a fun game. Pretty soon it's like every day you just wake up and you're like, what are we going to attack today? How's reality going to look at the end of this day with all my work?
That's really helpful and hopeful.
Mhm.
I meditated for half an hour today too, and
Nice.
yeah, it was there's another this guy on YouTube. I think his channel is Always Awake. And I
Mhm.
found him today, and he's he says he's enlightened, and I believe him. I watched a few of his videos,
Mhm.
and he's oh man, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I mean, he had someone ask him about spiritual bypassing, like with meditation. Is it a form of spiritual bypassing if the meditator has like childhood trauma? And he's like, no, because everything happens in the now. There's no past. There is no past. So if something's coming up, it's coming up now.
Yep.
And if you need to address it, you address it now.
Exactly.
So
I
that's not
healed all
bypassing.
my childhood trauma, and I say all mine. I'm sure there's still remaining, but it used to affect every day of my life. But it happened in those moments of stopping and healing it, and pretty
Yeah,
soon it stopped coming up. Pretty soon they all became lessons. They all
that's
became
great.
knowledge.
That's great. Yeah. So his channel is Always Awake. And I thought he was pretty good. It was weird because it was like so he was answering a question that someone had posed to him. I mean, the video was months old, and he
Mhm.
answered on the separate video. I was like, "Whoa, that's exactly what like the question I was thinking today." I'm like,
Nice.
"Dude, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm Zen, I'm doing my Zen meditation, and and I'm trying not to think, and and I'm wondering if I should think to heal some trauma, and then because what I asked this other dude who's really into like book learning. He's a young
Mhm.
guy, and he's been into meditation too. But he's
Yeah.
like, no, man, meditation is not enough. Meditation is not enough, even though it's good. You got to deal with the trauma, deal with it. Otherwise, it's spiritual bypassing. This is somebody else. This is somebody
Yeah.
totally different. And I was like,
Well,
yeah, I
I
don't
could
know, man.
see if somebody just got stuck in sitting silently for 30 minutes a day and that's all they thought it was, and they didn't do any of the sifting shadow work, they didn't think about what came up, you know, if they
Yeah.
just if it was just all clearing your mind, it might be kind of a spiritual bypass. We can use any useful tool can turn into a crutch, a useless crutch if we do it
Yeah.
right.
And you know
But
what's weird? We're speaking the same language now, man, because that's
yeah,
exactly what this newer guy who I haven't met, but like the always aware, he
yeah,
was saying, yeah, the
yeah,
shadow identity. It's an identity. But it's not you. It's your
yeah,
shadow identity. So he was using the same lingo. It
yeah.
constantly blows me away how we're just kind of like with the YouTube and Zoom and everyone on the space. We're using it's synchronistic.
We're
It's like,
all coming to awareness together.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
our collective unconscious is teaching
yeah,
all of us.
yeah.
I've realized that ever since I started coaching, I thought in the beginning that I would be coaching others, but I realize now that we're just coaching each other. It's just all I do all day. So, busy people pay me to hang out with them, but I get just as much out of every session as my clients do because we're all learning from each other and we're all healing from each other.
Yeah, no, it's trippy. Yeah, I mean, because it was serendipitous how this video like basically answered a question. I don't know the dude, but like it was the same question that I'd asked. Man, it's so weird. I'm so like I'm doing with the meditation and the learning. I don't even know what goes on first in my day because I reached out to my guy back east with an email, long email
Yeah.
about shadow work, and if like an adjunct, like a written adjunct or some kind of like additional work was needed above and beyond the Zen meditation. We'll see what he says. He's probably saying no. He'll
Yeah.
probably say no because he's always doing that.
If from my perspective, my entire brain unraveled itself in 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes a day over 2 years, which expanded to 2, 3 hours a day at the end. I was spending, sometimes one day I remember spending over 6 hours just sitting in nature without just sitting with myself, sorting through, doing the shadow work.
Wow.
And I used to think the shadow work was like a killing of the old self, a death of the ego, but after going through it for so long, I believe shadow work is a reuniting us with the part of ourself we rejected. And
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that part of us,
Remembering. Yeah.
yeah, a remembering. And that part of us is the most powerful part. The part of me that can get angry and tell people to F off is the best part of me. I just had to learn how to control it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so all the stuff that we're rejecting from ourselves is actually our biggest assets. It's just other people have been scared of our light and put us down in those areas, and we've become ashamed of it. But once we integrate it, integration, that's what I was thinking. We're integrating the shadow. We're
Yeah.
not killing anything. No part of us is dying. Something is emerging from the wreckage. And it's a beautiful process. And so I'm really glad you're here to share it with me. This is fun. This is amazing to just chill and talk.
No, this is fun, man. This is like
Yeah.
God's work. I love your cat.
Thank you. Say hi, Zeph. Oh, he's so tired. Yeah, I was doing these events here locally, and I'd get one or two people to stop by, and now I'm just excited. I'm hoping that we get this Zoom full over the next few weeks and get people in here talking and hanging out.
That would be cool. That would be
Yeah.
really cool.
So, what was that other channel? You said always aware,
Always awake.
always.
Always,
I'll
or is
just
it always awake or not? Yeah, I think it's always awake. Let me check. Let me check on my phone. I'll go
sure.
YouTube on my phone real quick,
Okay.
and
I'm
I'll
gonna
get it for
quickly
you.
check my comments and make sure nobody's texting me.
Yeah, it's trippy. Let's see. Go to YouTube real quick. Dun-dun-dun. Is it always awake? Let's see. Always awake. Let's see. I just joined it. Like, oh, here it is. Simply always awake. So it's
Okay. Simply all.
simply always awake. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah.
I will check him out. Oh,
He sounds like the real deal. I mean, he's just very thoughtful and he answers people's questions and yeah.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we can get some other people. Yeah, it'd be neat, man. Get some other people,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I might end a little bit early tonight because I don't have much more content, but I just, man, I wanted so bad to just get up and running so we could
Yeah,
have this, just know next
yeah,
Wednesday at 5 will be on. You can come and join me, or I might do a little part in the beginning and then open it up and, a little bit into it or something. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't have any plans. I just want to get out and get to know people and
yeah, I get you. Yeah.
just have all of us learn from each other.
Well, this is your product. That's cool because, last night I was watching, she calls herself the crappy childhood fairy. You ever heard
Oh
of
my
her?
God, I'm totally subscribed to her. I love her.
I was watching one of her videos last night. She was like, I think it was like, don't be small, like stop being small. And like
Yeah.
it's like a month or so old. And she
Uh-huh.
was talking about like when she decided to make her like her healing like into her business, she thought about, well, I don't she's fighting her own perfectionism. And she goes, well, I thought about the minimum viable product. This phrase she learned while she was in her video production business. Like she was like trying to kind of hypnotize herself into like do something. Like what's the minimum viable product she can turn out? Just
Yeah.
get started, put it out
Yeah.
there. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing right now. This is
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, and then you just get led into how it's supposed to be because I found myself with, $10 in my pocket, quarter tank of gas, and this beast that, gets
Wow.
1 mile to the gallon. And I
Whoa.
didn't know what to do to start my business. So I just started going to the park and I just called it a healing in nature event. And I was like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to talk to people about mindfulness, and it just
Yeah.
evolved
Yeah.
into this.
Cool. No, well,
Yeah.
this is your product. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. I've met so many people over the summer doing it. So now we'll just move it online now that it's cold. And I'm hoping to get a few lights and I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to move my van to different places and we'll have like, the ocean as the background or,
Oh, that'd be cool. Wow. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm
That'd be
only a couple
sweet.
hours away from the beach, so I'd love to drive down there and do some streaming.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm working from home. Like I'm lucky I'm working from home tomorrow and Tuesday. Normally I go in, but since it's like Thanksgiving weekend, they're allowing us to work from home
Oh,
tomorrow.
nice.
And yeah, so that's cool. So I've been yeah, man, but I just yeah, it's still kind of challenging, man. It's weird, man. Sometimes I think about my father, you know,
Yeah.
like what would he want me to do, I think about that, you know. Like
Yeah.
he died when I was 16 or 15 and
Oh,
15.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were kind of estranged. So
Got
I'm
it.
just like, and so I kind of did all this schooling because of him. He didn't know me. He
Oh,
didn't know me
wow.
as a strong student. I mean, he knew me, but he didn't know like I became a strong student after he passed away.
Yeah.
Kind of, so I'm just like,
Was
it's
he into any self-help? I mean, I know our parents' generation didn't know about hypnosis and
You
stuff
know what
like
he
that.
was, dude? You know what he was?
What?
He was raised Catholic. He was raised
Oh,
Catholic in an orphanage in Manhattan. I swear to God, right?
wow.
Didn't know, but check it out. Check it out. He became, and I told this to my guy back east. He considered himself Buddhist towards the end of his
Mm,
life. I swear to God. I don't know if
nice.
he meditated, but he had like little statues of Buddha. And I don't know if that cat meditated, but I do remember like little incense. But
Yeah.
I never saw him meditate, and he never talked about it.
Yeah.
But he literally said, like, I'm Buddhist now. I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't, as a
Wow. He
kid, I
must
didn't know
have
what that
been
was.
something on the start of your journey to activate your spirituality.
Maybe, dude, I don't know, because like when you're an orphan like that, but it's trippy. I mean, he was an orphan, and so like
Yeah.
he never knew who his parents were. He grew up in an
Yeah.
orphanage, and so like, yeah, man, it's trippy. Like, and with him, he talked about wounds, dude. It's like, he had abandonment wounds from up the yin yang, right? Because like,
Yeah.
and because the nuns who he was raised by in that Catholic orphanage, they were mean as hell. From what he told me.
I would imagine. Yeah.
From what he told me, and so he had issues. And yeah, he didn't quite know how to be a father. He's a bright guy, man, really bright guy. But yeah, trippy, man. I just don't. we inherit so much from our fathers and our mothers, but
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's trippy. I mean, I wonder like because when he told me because he was, I mean, I was a happy-go-lucky kid, and he was kind of like he wasn't a he wasn't a real jokester, but he would joke around enough. So when he told me he was Buddhist, I just accepted it. I didn't think it was weird. I was like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine. I didn't think it was anything weird or strange. I'm like, that's cool, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, who knows, with his but see, now that we know how perception and what we want is all driven by our beliefs, doesn't matter what our parents would want us to do. They would, if they knew what we were doing, they would be proud of what we're doing, fixing our family line and fixing the problems in our
I would
thinking.
hope so. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
would hope so. And
Yeah.
it's a trip. It's a trip is his first marriage. Like he fought in World War II. He
Yeah.
kind of joined. He kind of because he was older when I was born. And he had a prior marriage and prior kid, like an earlier family he had. He married a German war bride and out of World War II in Germany. He met a woman in Germany,
Oh
brought
wow.
her over, and they started a family in Seattle while he was still in the service.
Wow.
And unfortunately, she left him, but he
Oh.
had a son and a daughter. So they're like my half brother and half sister. The son saw me when I was an infant. And so he came down to Sacramento from Seattle. Like he was in the Air Force too. His name was Charlie. And anyways, I was like, I never quite have made the effort to fully try to find him. I haven't,
Yeah.
even though he did. Like my half brother came down to see me when I was a baby, but I don't remember. My other half brothers from my mom's side, they remember him. They're like,
Oh,
yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
huh.
And so I haven't made an effort to like find my relatives up in the state of Washington. I should though. I should
Yeah.
because I know for a fact that my half sister had kids because I've got a niece. She had a daughter. I've got a niece who's like a year older than me.
Yeah.
And they were up in Seattle, and but when I asked my guy out back east, my Zen teacher, he's like, dude, the most important thing you should do right now is meditate, is become awake. That's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
It really is, because the state that you're in determines what you can do. I mean, if you're in a state of disbelief in yourself, then you can't move forward. So it makes more sense to get your mind and body focused and
Yeah.
figure out how it works before you do much of anything else. But oftentimes getting in touch with old family and reconnecting with people can help you face those old beliefs. So that's for me. I've been estranged from my birth family for years because when I went into the Jehovah's Witness cult, they all disowned me. They were like, "That is a cult. They disfellowship people, and
Oh,
we think that's bad. So we don't want to talk to you anymore." And I was like, "That's kind of weird." And so then when I came out of the cult, I expected to have my family back, but we didn't really talk, and there was arguments, and just because of all of our false beliefs and all of our
wow.
programming. But here recently, the last about month, I've been talking to my brother, and it's been really nice. And it's been bringing up all the old stuff so I can fix it. It's been really
Uh,
nice. And I found we both have really grown a lot. And he's an amazing person. And everything I hated about him and he hated about me were misunderstandings. So, it's
that's
nice
good.
to,
Is he
yeah.
older or younger than you?
He's older. Both my
Okay.
brothers are 10 and 11 years older than me. So I was kind of like an only child with two older uncles. That's kind of what it
Dude,
was.
that's me. I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest
Yeah.
in both my half brother on my mom's side is 8 years ahead of me, and then the other one's 10 years ahead of me. So I'm basically the same way. They used to beat the crap out of me. Yeah, because I'm their half. So yeah, no, I'm the same way. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
weird is they joined a church that my mom and me thought was a cult,
Oh,
but it
wow.
was just a Christian church because they were just so fundamentalist. And
Yeah.
then when they got older, they exited that church, both of them. I mean, but now I sometimes go over to that church myself. It's weird how things shift,
Yeah, it is.
which plays into the whole thing about, Buddhism, like everything is changing and shifting. It's
Yeah.
everything really is changing and shifting, every dynamic. And that's trippy, man. It's like I feel like I've got I'm on like someone opened the fire hose, a spirituality fire hose on me these last few weeks. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Congratulations, 'cause that's a fun place to be in. Life becomes magic when you get there. It
I mean,
really does.
I'm still learning, man. I'm still like, I'm still asking questions and trying to learn, man, because like it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
We all are. I think it's a lifelong process. Every time I feel like I know, I've reached another level, I just realize what I don't know. It's like there's so much
Yeah.
that I don't know. It's an exciting process learning about ourselves and learning how our unconscious mind works. And I think the biggest key is what I was bringing out today, that it's your imagination. It's literally sitting and visualizing the anxiety and trying to ask questions about what is its texture, what sound does it make, what color is it, and then you're making something intangible tangible, and you're separating yourself from it, and really taking that principle into everything, into all your beliefs. It's what the whole point of this event is today, is reverse engineering our beliefs, seeing the problem, and then figuring out what belief caused the problem, because it's never outside, it's always inside.
Yeah, who talks about imagination along with meditation too is this guy. He's all over YouTube. He wrote a book. Is it Campbell? He wrote my he wrote the book My Big Toe, which means my the theory of everything. So his
Oh wow.
toe stands for
Theory of
theory of everything, right?
funny.
And this guy's name's Campbell. He's all over. He was a scientist. He was a physicist. He's all over YouTube, and he's written a few books. Older dude. He says that he can remote view. He doesn't think there's anything contrary between quantum physics and spirituality, and in terms of like remote viewing and
Yeah,
imaginations. He says there's no
I
contradiction.
believe that. I downloaded, and I can send it to you if you want. I downloaded a course on how to remote view, and just
Mm,
out of curiosity, it was just on YouTube for free. And I
right.
started watching it about a week ago, and it was freaky. The lady teaching the class was like, everyone can remote view. You just got to learn how to
Wow.
connect to the collective unconscious. She explained how it worked, and they just have a series of unconscious things that they do. Like they've turned all, and I don't know all the technical terms, but they've turned the elements into six different shapes, and so they learn how to draw those shapes unconsciously. And so what they do is they assign a number to the remote viewing thing, and they start writing the number. And it's a mental trick. Instead of the last number, they start off the process by just instinctively drawing one of those shapes, and then that
Okay.
starts telling them whether it's water, fire,
Oh,
earth.
cool.
And then they go through a series of things like this, from tapping the paper with their pencil, and they said their own unconscious mind will make it soft and squishy if it's a marshmallow they're trying to remote view, or it'll make it hard if it's a rock. And
Whoa.
their perception of these different tests, over time, you learn how to remote view. And the first class I watched was all beginners who were just interested, and the picture that they were remote viewing was a volcano. And I'm going to say 70% of people drew fire,
Whoa.
mountains, parts of the picture. So they were getting pieces of the remote
Whoa.
view. And so
Wow.
what that taught me is it's just a skill that we all need to learn how to adapt, something we all can do. And I thought that years ago about telepathy. And within my family, we were talking about it about a year ago, and really practicing mindfulness and breath work and talking about telepathy. And I swear, one day I was driving down the road, and I thought in my head, where are the smokes? And a family member was driving, and she literally said out loud, right there. And I said, what the hell did you just say that
Whoa.
for? She goes, you asked where the smokes were. And I said, no, I didn't. I said, I was just
Whoa.
sitting here thinking about it. She's like,
Wow.
I heard
Wow.
you. So I know
Wow.
we can do it if we practice. We need to just practice.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's trippy. It's
Yeah.
funny. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a chick from my high school. I mean, oh man, she was the prettiest girl in my high school, and
Yeah.
like I was intimidated by her. But the weird thing was, because I was like your straight nerd, man. I was the outcast. I was the nerd. I
Yeah.
was, but she was the prettiest girl in high school. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I started crazy enough. Our first year of college, we went to a community college. She was in one of my classes. Dude, I started dating her. Here I was, the nerdiest guy, just had all these beliefs, and we got kind of close. But like and she wanted to kiss me, and we wanted to date. I was so like I had her on a pedestal, man, and she's still in Sacramento. So, but like, long story short, we've been friends ever since. We never kind of became, boyfriend and girlfriend. But we've been on dates, and I've always gacked because I'm like, she's so beautiful. I get
Yeah.
intimidated, right?
Oh yeah.
But along the way, over the years, she appears in my dreams, and then I
Wow.
see her. Then I see her the next day. It's all sorts of crazy stuff. I texted her while I was in Portland. She was in Sacramento. I says, "Go to sleep," because she was up at like midnight. And then when I came back to Sacramento, she goes, "How did you know I was having
Ah,
trouble sleeping?" I said, "I
wow.
didn't. I was like, I just saw you at midnight. I thought you should be asleep." And so, so she says this more often than not when we're together. Are
Hmm.
you reading my mind? Like, what is this?
Wow.
And I'm not even trying. It's like I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not. I never
When you
am.
get in flow with somebody, I mean, some of it is patterns. When you've been with someone for a day or two, you kind of just know at this time they get thirsty. You hand them a glass of water. You just get to anticipate. But I believe a lot of it is really communicating through the unseen.
Yeah,
Through
and I don't know if she's trying to like, because she's kind of like, even though she's beautiful, like her mom was real dominant. Her mom is real successful, and like her mom intimidated her. Mom is like a beast. Like her mom is like a talent agent. Like she used to be an agent for actors. Now she's a literary agent. So she's always made good money. She's powerful, and
Yeah.
and her mom is good looking.
Yeah.
But like I think her mom intimidated her, and because my friend is like she's got some emotional scars. Like she
Yeah.
knows she's beautiful, but it's like she got married once and divorced, and she's got kind of issues. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
she was like, I mean, we were in the car one time. This is a few years ago. She's like, "You're an empath, just like me." I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of her stuff is like female bullshit or if it's real. Like, do we?
So
Because
I
she's
think we
always saying,
all are. I think we're all empaths. I think that some people have so many programs running that they can't sense and they're so codependent they can't sense what's theirs and what's other people's. But once we separate and once we connect our mind and body, I believe we all are.
yeah. So it's trippy, but it's like but going back to what she would always say, she'd always say, "Oh, you're reading my mind," and you read my mind. You're reading my mind again. And I don't know whether that was bullshit or not. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, what? But she does appear in my dreams, and then boom, she's the next day she's there, right? And
Yeah.
it's happened more than once. Like it keeps happening, and I'm intimidated by her. I'm like, I mean, I just like man, but it's like, and in fact, it gets to the point where I don't really want to see her because it tortures me
Yeah.
because she's gonna want to get close or something, and then nothing happens because we're both scared of each other,
Yeah.
and and then so it's like, it's always this push pull,
Yeah. Well, when the timing's right, it will work out with the right person. I know that. Right now, your mind and body are just healing. That's all.
Yeah. But it's weird those synchronicities because it's like I even told her off one time. I mean, that's because we don't even I see her, we don't even talk
Yeah.
because like she wanted help with her, she wanted like legal help with her. She's got a kid, a 12-year-old boy, out of marriage. Like she had him when she was 42, man. She's 54 now. Like, and she wants some help. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? I can, yeah, what? Like, I mean, I can refer you. Like, what do you want? And she
Yeah.
was just, so she kind of acts like a professional victim. So I was like, well, what do you want? I mean, I'm ready. How can I help you? Because I like the kid. He's a good
Yeah.
kid. He's a real good kid. And she sends me this poem, right? Instead of like answering me directly, she
Mhm.
literally texts me this poem like about, and it was just bullshit. I mean, like it was like this guy saying his wife doesn't love him anymore, blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's a famous poem, and I'm like, dude, is this about me? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, I'm just trying to like what is this? I mean, like, why do you do stuff like this? I'm just trying to help you, and you
Yeah.
send me this bullshit poem. You always do stuff like this. And she goes, no, it wasn't about you. It was about me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, whatever. You want help, I'm here for your help, but don't, you're always like this. You're always like this negative narcissist. Like, and so we kind of had a little fight over that. So I don't talk to her anymore, but we're still Instagram friends. But
Yeah.
I just got tired of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell what somebody means.
Yeah. But I bring her up as an example of like, I'm like, it's weird, man, because it's like, because sometimes I think, is it limerence? Is it my own obsession with her? And I'm like, well, maybe it develops into that, but it always starts where I forget about her, and then boom, she'll enter my dreams, and then she'll be there the next day, like in real life. And I'm like,
Huh.
dude, not again,
It
not
could be a
again.
premonition. You just might know she's in the area. You never know.
Yeah.
Or you might be, you know, as soon as I started learning about energy, I had that happen. I had a friend that I hadn't seen in years, and I was out for a long walk, and I was walking up to a stop sign, and I looked and I saw their car and their face. And then as I got closer, I realized it wasn't them, but someone very close. And I thought in my head, I thought, I was so sure it's them. I bet they're here. And I looked over and there they were right there.
Oh, really? The
I
original
thought,
person?
yeah, it was a different person, but I
Uh,
thought they were here. And I was like, I knew they're here so much. I know they're here. And I turned, I was like, oh yeah, there they are. It was
it's
weird.
funny. It's
Maybe we see them, maybe you see them out of the corner of your eye and you don't
yeah,
recognize it. Who knows, because there's 2 billion pieces of information, raw data coming in our mind at all times, and our unconscious mind can sift it. Maybe it was trying to tell me that I had seen them,
yeah.
just in that this person, but you never know. It feels like a premonition.
It's
When,
funny because that's happened with this other dude who was a friend of mine. Yeah, I saw like that's when I was working as a lawyer. I was walking out of my office, and I was walking to this public park,
yeah,
and I saw this tall dude way at the far end of the park wearing a suit, and probably 100 yards away. And I was like, "Is this Jason?" That kind of looks just the way this guy was walking and he was carrying himself.
yeah,
And I was like, and there's no way I couldn't see. It was like, is this Jason from my elementary school? And I got closer and closer and closer. Sure enough, it was him. And he
nice,
hugs me. I'm like, dude, I saw you. Like I saw you in my mind before I sensed you before I
yeah,
could see you. And he
that's
was living in San Francisco, and he was like, in that day he was in Sacramento, like giving a presentation. I'm like, damn, I hadn't seen him in years.
your Jedi mind powers were active that day.
It was weird, man. It was weird,
That's
man. And then the thing with the blonde was this. I was living my life, and the thing with the blonde was weird. This is the weirdest part. And it was like, okay, and I was like, okay, I need a place to get some cheap, good food. And I was like, and they just popped up. It just popped up. Oh, there's this Indian buffet,
yeah.
right in where I live. And I'm like, dude, that's like fifth the bill. It was like God answering a prayer because all the chicken, all the good chicken, and the dal, and all those, it was like I could pig out for $8 and
Yeah.
eat good food, and so I would go there every day. I was
Nice.
part time making appearances as a lawyer, so my time was pretty flexible.
Yeah.
I was like barely paying my bills doing that, but then I would walk on my walk to this restaurant. I would pass by this like little pub on the corner, and I was like, I didn't even want to look in there. It was a new pub because it was like, oh, this like it's probably full of like these people from Land Park, these rich people. I don't even want to look in there. And I would just pass by. I wouldn't look in there. I
Yeah.
would not look in there. And then I would do that for like a month. And then I had this dream. I had this dream of the blonde looking at me through a hole in a fence, looking at me through a hole in a fence. And she was like, kind of like, she was kind of like, and then in my dream, I thought about all the stupid stuff I said to her. And
Mhm.
then in the dream, she was like, she just like forgave me. She was just like looking down. She's like, I forgive you. But she was looking at me through a hole in a fence in a distance. I'm like, and then I woke up, and then I was like, that was a weird dream. That was a weird dream, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I go get my lunch. I go get my lunch, walk across the street, go get my lunch.
Uh-huh.
And then I walk near that pub that I don't like looking at. I walk near that pub to go get to my car. And all of a sudden, right in front of me on the sidewalk is this blonde. And I'm like, who the hell is this? And she's not moving. I'm walking. Like she's on the sidewalk, she's looking at me, and she ain't moving. And I'm just like, whatever, man. I don't know who the hell this is. So I look at her like, I'm like, what? What do you want? And then I recognize her. It's her.
Oh
It's
wow.
Annie. I'm like, what? Hey, I didn't recognize you. And then she's like, I've been watching you for months. I've been
No.
watching you because she worked in that pub.
Oh
I've
God,
been
I'm watching
watching
you walk by.
I've been watching you walk by for months. I've been trying to get your attention, but
Wow.
you never look up.
And you had a dream about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. And she confronted me on the street.
Wow. See, that's a very I'm glad you brought that up because that's a very good example of how your unconscious mind can speak to you. It literally sparked the dream to make you aware that you were seeing her, but you weren't consciously aware of it. You were unconscious.
I never saw her, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I swear to God, because I never looked in that window, man.
Yeah.
And
But
then
when you realize that your unconscious mind is recording everything around you, all audio, all video, everything 24/7, it's obvious that it just is sending you messages through your dreams and you're learning how to interpret it.
but could it have been she was just thinking about me, like that she was so flustered?
Absolutely. It totally could have been that. It could have been, who knows in the unseen whether you saw her or it was just her energy thinking of you. Because how many times has somebody, it's even happened with you? You're in Sacramento, I'm in Vancouver. A couple of days ago, last time you text me, I was thinking about you. And about 10 minutes later, you text. I'm like, of course. I was just thinking
Oh,
about how you're
oh
doing.
wow.
Yeah, it happens
Yeah,
all the time.
that tripped me out, dude. Because there's no way I saw her. Because I was like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I was because I wasn't avoiding her. I was like, oh, that's a brew pub where all the Land Park people I don't like, and so I never looked in there. I never looked. I made a point not to look in there.
It makes sense. So it probably was the energy because you didn't, you wouldn't have accidentally noticed if you didn't look in there.
And she was like, I was even trying to get people I was even trying to get customers to get your attention, but you never looked up. I'm like,
Wow,
what?
that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, let me just say if anyone is watching on YouTube that I've fixed the link. We got about 20 more minutes. The Zoom link is fixed and pinned in the comments, and the passcode is 1133. So you can join our conversation. Otherwise, we're just gonna hang out and talk as long as you want.
Cool.
I probably gotta go around 7, but I'm
Okay.
good for 20 more minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you to we gotta get you some socks, man.
Oh,
I'm just
I'm
gonna we
I
gotta
appreciate any donations, but I'm doing good. I part of my mental health part of the way I healed myself was something I started doing about 10 years ago is every day I pick something super hard to do and I do it on purpose. And so then when life hits me, like 3 days ago, I looked at my schedule and I usually have a house to go to once or twice a day, different houses. I can take a shower and get warm for a few hours. And I come back to my van. I've taken good care of myself. But a couple of days ago, I look and everyone was busy this weekend. I had nowhere to go. I'm like, okay, I'll go pull out my winter clothes. I get some fluffy socks. And I was like, oh, I lost them in my last move. And this is why I
that
call it do
sucks.
hard shit because you can. Because as soon as
Yeah.
I saw there was no socks, and I was like 3 days in the cold with no socks, and it got down to 35 degrees a couple of nights.
Oh man.
Um, I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I like to do hard shit. Now I don't have to do any hard shit this weekend. This is it. No socks is the hard shit.
I'll take care of you this evening, man. No, we
Oh,
gotta get
thank
you.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you
no,
so much. I'll go
definitely.
to Walmart tomorrow and buy some. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely take care of you this evening.
I'm so grateful. You guys all take good care of me. So, and then on a side note, I've been talking about this balanced life wheel mastermind. You've
Yeah,
expressed interested in starting it with me. I've been looking at the schedule for the next month, and with all the holidays, I don't know how to start the course because then it's like a week, then Christmas, or then
yeah,
Thanksgiving, then Christmas. So I'm just gonna start the weekly group. I don't have anyone signing up to pay yet, just friends and family coming in right now. But I'm gonna just start the group in January. But I think we're gonna have a few meetings this over the next month whenever there's not a holiday on a Thursday or a Monday, we'll have it.
sure. Okay,
And
cool.
then we'll just kind of get started. Well, I'll give everyone the book that we're going to be going over, the book I wrote, The Balanced Life Wheel, and we'll just kind of get an idea. Maybe the first members meeting can help me. We'll talk about the format of the group and make it really fun, and
Uh-huh.
we'll figure out how to do it. And then January, I'll have everything ready to sell to the public to come to the group. But it's going to be an amazing group. We're going to spend a little bit of time each week identifying false beliefs in one area of life, and then spend the rest of the time learning how to reverse engineer the false belief and install better beliefs.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Uh,
Cool.
I learned a lot of the NLP techniques and the visualization processes. I don't know. Do you know much about neurolinguistic programming?
I don't know much at all. It's funny because like when I was really young, this counselor at the university was saying, it's like she was saying, is your psychologist teaching you NLP? I'm like, no. Oh, he's not worth his salt then, or something like that. So I never really I heard about it, and I've heard other people talk about it, but I've never really gotten into it. You know what I
It's
mean?
kind of an additional piece to psychology, but you don't have to be a psychologist to learn it. It's they've the idea of NLP is in mental health, they have modeled all sickness. They have 400 and some sicknesses in the, what is that book? The
The
DM,
DSM.
DSM. Yeah.
Yeah,
400 some illnesses of the way the human brain can break, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, in NLP, there was a linguist and a neuro linguistic programming and a computer programmer that were friends. I forget their names. But they started studying hypnotherapists and psychologists looking for patterns in their communication. And so what they started doing is studying people who were experts in areas and seeing if they could find the thought process behind the expertise. And so what it is it's a little cheat code, like what they in some of the famous ones that they've done. Um, they've modeled a black belt who you need to be in karate for 5 years to be able to break a board in half. That was the average time it took to become a black belt. Well, after Richard Bandler and I forget the other guy, the guys who made NLP, they modeled a bunch of black belts and they found out that the biggest thing they were doing is aiming behind the board. There's a lot
Uh,
more things to it, but when they taught the thought process, it seems that for the first 5-10 years you aim at the board and then pretty soon you get tired of hurting yourself and you aim behind the board, you can break it. So
okay.
once they teach the process of how the person that's been doing it for 10 years and is a black belt can do it in the neurolinguistic programming practitioner class, the master practitioner, you actually learn how to do it in the first week. You just
Wow.
learn the process and you can break a board.
Wow.
Another example is Richard Bandler. I was watching an interview on him the other day, and he said that when he modeled art, he had been walking and he saw a man with a easel and he had a pencil and he was drawing perfect trees with colored pencils. And he says he walked by and he thought, I want to model that. He asked him, how did you get the picture on the page? And he goes, I don't even know. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, think about it. Like, what do you do in your mind to get the picture on the page? And he said, everyone, when he models them, they always say the same thing. They say, this is going to sound stupid. It's going to sound crazy. He said, but I just sit here and I see a big hand over by that tree with a pencil. And I have a wire that comes over and connects to mine. And when it moves, my hand moves. And I just trace the tree.
Whoa.
And he said when he went and started he did a class of people who thought that they were not artistic, he taught them the mental thinking of this artist, and all of them were drawing trees by the end of the class.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
mental tricks that experts have learned
Wow.
over doing it for years and years and years.
Wow. Cheat code. Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah,
true.
and then they've taken it and pushed it through the model of Milton H. Erickson, who was a master hypnotherapist, and turned it into conversational hypnosis. So you can say one or two words and you can reverse a thought virus with the thought vaccine and you can teach
Oh,
someone how to do something amazing.
that's wonderful. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I've heard of Milton Erickson. I really have, but I've never, never,
Yeah.
stu never studied him.
He's every hypnotherapist hero. He was an old dude who had polio twice in his life, and by the end of his life, he could barely see. He couldn't walk. He was in a wheelchair. He was colorblind. His tongue was numb. He could barely talk, but he was the happiest guy. And watching his videos, he could put people in a trance and fix lifelong problems in just minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
flipping awesome.
yeah. And he's taught us a lot. We've modeled a lot of his way of speaking, and there's actually a form of hypnosis that I know and do, and most of my conversations are based in Milton model hypnosis. It's just the way you speak. It's you just speak around problems and you leave things open for the other person's mind to fill in the blanks. So you're not putting ideas in their head. You're just opening their mind to accept ideas that will help them progress.
See, that's kind of like it's funny you said because I didn't know that like Milton Erickson was kind of beset with physical problems like that or kind of enfeebled. But like it's funny you say that because like in my mind as I picture what I want to be like, I want to be still working and productive, like late into life,
Yeah,
not necessarily enfeebled, but happy with my work. You know what I mean? That's kind of
exactly.
like and then whether it's as an attorney or like who writes appeals for people who are in, in institutions, and I'm trying to appeal their case. But
Mhm.
it's just like that kind of dignity of an older dude like working and enjoying his work, like
Mhm.
doing something for humanity.
And you totally will get there because you're doing the right process right now. You are deconstructing your identity and you're building the identity of a person who does that, who has that life, and you're doing it piece by piece. It can't help but happen when you're that meticulous about your life and you deconstruct your brain and connect your body and mind. The result of that is a life worth living. It is a happy life.
Cool.
It's
It must be
peace.
so cold where you're at, man. I see your breath, man.
I actually
Wow.
lit up a spliff, so it's my medicine that you're seeing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
I just didn't want it on camera because I don't know how
No
YouTube is.
worries. No worries. No worries. No worries. That's funny. That's
Yeah,
pretty funny. That's
usually
funny.
it's so cold you can't tell the difference between smoke and your breath. Now I got my medicine burning, so now it's really
That's funny. The only type that ever got me sleepy was brown, was like really cheap brown. The new
yeah.
stuff, man, I stay away because it's too strong for me.
Oh
It's
man,
too strong.
I
The
love
really
me some
cheap brown.
indica spliff. I love a little tobacco, raw tobacco. I don't smoke cigarettes. I smoke raw tobacco because it's medicine. Without because
Yeah,
cigarettes
nicotine.
nowadays.
Nicotine is helpful.
Yeah, I learned that from the Native Americans. Nicotine, smoke, cigarettes are bad for you because they add thousands or hundreds, I don't know how many of carcinogens. But if you just get raw tobacco leaves and you mix it with a little bit of flour or a little marijuana, makes a nice little medicine.
Yeah, nicotine is got some help. Has got some health benefits. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I forgot what they were, but I think it's anti-inflammatory.
Well, for
Yeah,
me, I use them all as anti-anxiety, and I no longer need an anti-anxiety, so I just about 4 or 5 times a day. Well, it's getting down to that. It used to be a lot more when I was in emergency mode when I didn't have any income and I didn't know what was going to happen. It was a lot more, but now 4 to 10 times a day I will roll a cigarette with an intention or a spliff. It's both it's raw tobacco, a little marijuana, and I roll it with an intention and I set the intention, and then when I'm smoking it, it's literally a ritual to visualize an outcome.
that's great.
So, like before I started this live, I had one and I was just seeing it completed and done and having some interaction. And thanks to you, I got some interaction. I love it.
Yeah, it starts out, man. I mean, it just
Yeah.
yeah, you got the minimum viable product going. Yeah, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely, definitely. I watched a really interesting video Friday night on YouTube,
Yeah.
uh, and it touched on what we were talking about, like, are there entities on the planet that harvest our fear?
Oh man.
Are there entities on our planet? And this was trippy because it was hosted by a young guy who used to be a Christian.
Hmm.
And I say young, he's like 30 years old, and so it was him, and he brought this retired psychotherapist in, um, as part of his podcast. They went on for 2 hours, and this retired psychotherapist was talking about how, like, he wasn't a psychiatrist, but he was kind of a man's man. He was like, he flew planes. I think he was in the military too, and he decided to be a therapist. So he started working at a Georgia mental hospital.
Mm.
He's in Tucson now, and he was talking about how, like, and it's funny, man. Everything is just coalescing. That he, he was always asking why, because he was dealing with schizophrenics at the hospital,
Uh-huh.
and he was always fascinated by what's the mechanism here? Why are they hearing these voices? What are the voices telling them, these schizophrenics? And, like, he would basically try to coach him into, don't listen to the voices. And he
Mm.
would come into odds with the psychiatrists, who they would want to throw the meds at them, just
Yeah.
zombie them up, right? That
Yeah.
was the only treatment for a schizophrenic. You give them an antipsychotic, which is
Hmm.
basically going to zombie them up, right? it's just gonna, and then their brain shrinks because,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't. So the psychologist wouldn't give up, and so his form of treatment for these guys was like, okay, I'm just gonna say, hey, look, don't listen to those voices, don't engage them,
Yeah.
meditate. And so he went on this way for years, and he found out in his own practice that, yeah, it was the voices. It was these voices, and these voices were entities. That they were entities, and that they didn't like Christians. They hated Christians.
Huh.
Sometimes they would go away, like in his patients. Sometimes they would go away, and then his patients would like kind of relapse, and he'd say, "Well, what are the voices telling you now?" He'd say, "Oh, they all left, but they got their boss. They brought their boss back, and now their boss is screaming at me."
That is kind of mirroring the demonology in the Bible. Huh. Yeah, I've
And
had experiences with both. I see um most voices and schizophrenia in my client, in clients showing signs of schizophrenia for me. I've seen it's their pain body. And if
yeah,
I can connect with pain body, it's literally all their pain in their life that they've ever felt that has created a personality. And I saw in one case that I mistook it for pain body, and then I watched it jump from one person to another. And
whoa,
the person I was working with was suicidal, and I was literally talking them like not off of a bridge, but they were going to kill themselves with an overdose, and I was talking them through that. Then the person
whoa,
I had with me was also sad, and there was another client, but I was just, it was like I got to take care of both. And I watched this personality jump. I watched this person become normal, and then this person just get out of the car and start walking away. And I'm like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "I'm going to kill myself."
whoa,
And so my daughter at the time, my daughter and I were there. My daughter was there at the time, and neither of us were religious. I had just left the cult. She was practicing to be a witch and just kind of like, I'm done with religion. I'm going to make my own. But I was like, I think we just saw a demon. What do we do? And we chased her down and got her stopped. And I was like, what do we do? And she just started chanting her own things, and I just started quoting Bible verse. I just said, the power of Christ compels you, leave this human. And we just did our own thing for 10 minutes, and it slowly just got out of her and melted into the ground. I don't know where it went. I didn't have any pigs to send it into, so I didn't know what
yeah.
to do.
It's funny that
He
you said
said
it
she
melted.
woke up and she was like, what happened? She did not remember. So
Dude,
sorry, go ahead.
you know what you just did?
What?
You just did the process that this psychotherapist was describing, this kind of man's man, this dude
Yeah.
in Tucson. He was talking about, you ground them. Like, number one,
Yeah.
they hate Christ. Number two, you've got to take the charge out of them. You got to ground them, like their energy, like they
Now,
are energy. They
I don't
feed. And so
know
what
about,
you did,
yeah.
you took the charge out of them. I mean,
Yeah.
with your own, what you just said was like, you
I was
just,
scared to
yeah,
death.
yeah. You took charge out. You grounded them. I mean, you took the polarity out of them.
Yeah, but that was the last time I was scared. I've seen it many, many more times, and it never gets that bad. It doesn't move from person to person anymore because it knows that I can control it. It knows that my presence is more powerful than it. And I believe my presence is Christ consciousness. Even though I left a cult and my brain is confused about religion, I see the Christ story. I don't necessarily believe it's real. I believe it's from our ancestors teaching us who we can be, but I don't put down people who believe it's real because I know it's real. I know part of it's real. I know that the Christ that they're talking about is what the consciousness that comes over me, and it knows everything. So
What do you think about I've never read the Gnostic texts, but but since they
I've
were,
studied them. I've studied the Essene Gospel of Peace. That was really, my daughter helped me to see that. She when we left the Jehovah's Witness cult, she started telling me, she goes, why do you want to follow Paul's idea of Jesus? That's what the Bible is. Why don't you go look at the Essenes? Because Jesus was an Essene. If you want to
yeah,
learn about him, learn about his religion. And it is, I mean, it puts fasting in a whole different place. I started intermittent fasting. I started only eating once a day after I read that. I started trying to only eat raw vegetables because I think that's how our bodies are supposed to process. I don't believe we're supposed to eat meat after reading that. Our society does. So when someone offers me meat, I eat it. But right now, but I'd like to get eventually to follow more of those rules because I believe that we're meant to fast for 2 and 3 days once a
dude,
month.
we're on the same wavelength, because the host the host of this podcast where I saw the psychotherapist, he talked about the demons and the schizophrenics.
Yeah.
The host is the young guy, is
Yeah.
a guy named Aaron Abkey. Like he's got a slew of videos on Jesus the Essene. Like he talks about like the lie of Paul's lie about Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude,
Paul's
we're on the
Christianity
same
is not, I mean, how can
we're on
you
the
learn
same
somebody else?
wavelength. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I was just because I always had my doubts about Paul. I'm like, wait a minute. He was a Jew taxpayer and he never saw Christ in his works, but allegedly he was blinded and he
Yeah.
was
I
taken
cry.
out of time. He
Yeah.
was taken out of time to study with Christ who had already been crucified. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't
Yeah.
sound right. And
Yeah.
like
And
they,
then his observations, I mean, if you look at the Essenes, like you get different conclusions, it's different than the four gospels. But you learn more. At this point, you got to take all of it into consideration, and you have to examine it all. But the fact that I've read books that have 72 other figurative people like Buddha who have 12 or more life events like Jesus, you start seeing, and then you take into account that sun worship was in the beginning. The Egyptians worshiped the sun because they believed the sun was God's son, Jesus, and it dies every year on the solstice for 3 days and rises for our sins. You start seeing that's just a retold story that they call different group of people the devil. They can use it for hypnosis, but once you see through the way it's being used nowadays to divide, you can start seeing the message inside, that the kingdom of the heavens is inside of you. You do have a piece of God in you, that it's looking outside of your eyes, and if you can connect with that, you'll be present and you'll know what's really happening, because that presence will teach you, and that's Christ's
yeah,
consciousness to me.
yeah. No, you're right. It is interesting too because I've heard a lot of apologists say, well, Christ is the true God because the true Son of God because he had to make the blood sacrifice. Like
Hmm.
he was tortured and humiliated by his own people, and he made the blood sacrifice for all of us. He was the sheep, he was the Lamb of God. He was the Judaic blood sacrifice. And what's weird is these cats who I was listening to last night, especially the young guy, was like, no, man, no, that form of Christianity is wrong because Christianity isn't about like blood sacrifice. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about the Old Testament was wrong. The
Yeah.
Old Testament was wrong. That's it. The God of the Old Testament was the demiurge. You know,
Hmm.
he doesn't. He doesn't. The real God doesn't. The God of Jesus, Yahweh, doesn't want you to suffer.
Yeah.
And like and he doesn't need blood sacrifices. However, Jesus did become the blood sacrifice for humanity. It's that's why it's hard to wrap my brain around it.
Yeah. I don't know what to believe about all of it, but I do know that if the story teaches you how to become present, all the dogma
Yeah,
of it,
uh,
I try to just get behind all of that or past all of that. Anytime somebody is telling me that another group has it wrong, I'd rather see them live it and just show me. I have a saying, when a Christian wants to preach to me, I just say, you know what, why don't you just show me your Jesus? That's what Jesus did. He just lived. I'll
yeah.
show you. I'm showing you my Jesus right now by not punching you in the face. But really, with these healing and nature events that I've been putting on all summer, at least once a week in the two different events, at least one time I will get approached by a group of Christians, and they start out hostile because they'll say, healing in nature, where's Jesus? I don't hear you talking about Jesus. And I have to tell them always, I consider myself a true Christian. I don't believe the same way most people do because I have trauma, but I try to live that way. And where I feel called is to help people heal and connect with their source power without all the dogma of Christianity or Buddhism or anything. I believe there's truth in all of the religions. And so, I consider myself a true Buddhist too. I mean, I don't know all the teachings, but I try to live
Sure.
in Zen way. And so what I try to, it usually starts out as an argument. And then as I start showing them that I was traumatized by people misusing the Jesus story. And so I try to just separate it, connect the person in front of me to the creator, the source of creation, the energy of unconditional love. And then I kind of figure that Christ consciousness can find them, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know,
I get,
God
yeah.
and the Christ consciousness and them can figure it out. If they want to know the truth, they'll go deep enough to know the truth. But the truth isn't found in a church or anywhere. It's been between all the words people are saying is the truth, you know?
Yeah. In the presence. Yeah. No, in the presence and the
Yeah.
stillness. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're
That's
all
part of it.
true Christians are finding each other, and we're all different religions. Some of us are atheists and we're true Christians. We have Christ consciousness. That's what's coming together. The stories are
Gotcha.
all fading away. So that's kind of my message to Christians is I am one of you, but I'm not trying to spread a religion. I am trying to wake people up to the fact that they can hear God themselves inside. You don't need to have a preacher teaching. You need to sit silent in nature.
Yeah. But but isn't it strange that like you saw, but I mean, and you know, and I probably said, and that's true. Like, I can't stand it when because it bores me. I can't stand it when Christians of different sects or different denominations will argue amongst themselves.
Oh,
It's like, dude, I start getting a headache. I'm like, dude, just stop. I
yeah,
can't stand it, man. When they start arguing doctrine,
yeah,
I mean, I've got this old guy, this old friend of mine, man. He's like, they're not real Christians because they can't say Jesus Christ. All they say is Jesus. I'm like, what does it matter?
yeah.
Like, what is it? What is it?
When will Christians learn that saying they're not real Christians because is a judgment?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, the only reason you should say that out loud is if you feel you have a truth, something important to your faith, and one of them asks you about it. Why do you say Jesus Christ? Then you can say, well, I say it because of this,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
to go around and tell people that they're wrong,
yeah,
it's Jesus didn't do that. He walked down the street as himself, and people followed him because they could sense his consciousness. They could sense his presence.
yeah,
They said, why does that guy know how to live? Why is he happy and everyone else is sad? Because he had a connection with the Father, Christ, the source. So to me, my days of Jehovah's Witnessing, knocking on doors and telling people, you don't know how to serve God. I was so embarrassed when I realized that I was literally walking into people's house onto their property, telling them they don't know God. And some of them knew God better than me. I don't do that anymore. Now I just live, and if people see how I'm living and they want to know, they'll ask. Otherwise, I just let them be.
gotcha. Let me run this by you.
I gotta go in about 10 minutes. I'm loving our conversation. I'll stay all night, but I got a ride that just showed up. That's gonna take me somewhere. So, but it's 7 right now. But I'll stay for about 10 more minutes. So give me your question. I'm so glad you showed up today. Thank you.
No worries. Sometimes I look at my life and even today I'm like, you know what? Okay, you made some mistakes. You made a lot of mistakes. You wasted a lot of time. You self-sabotaged a lot, and you got sick, and then you healed yourself, and you just disaster after disaster after disaster. Okay, now you're healthy. You got some time, and you're still, left on the planet. You don't know how much longer. And I sometimes think, okay, salvage your life, salvage what's rest of it. Like, so don't look back. I mean, look back if you can learn a lesson, but salvage the time you have left. And if that one means like, okay, well, because one of my fears is, okay, am I going to die alone? Well, it's funny. I got this former fiance. She just called me today, and I don't know. Maybe she's going to invite me to Thanksgiving. I don't know. And then in fact, one of her an apartment opened up where she lives, and she's got this. She's friends with the owner of the apartment complex, and I went to go look at it. It's too
Hmm.
far away from work. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it, but I'm like, man, it's so far away from work, man. I don't know. It's got not, I can't work out over there, and it's hotter out there. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe not now. But what's your take? Like, I've heard this other person who I've talked to said she's a positive lady. She's like, why look at the rest of your life like you're going to salvage it? Why settle? Why don't you optimize? Because I've been thinking like, dude, you got to salvage, like move on, like forget about it. Like, okay, if you don't want to die alone,
I see it. It's a mind shift. You're going from your whole life
lack.
you've been well yeah, your whole life you've been running from these feelings, and you've been in lack, and you've had bad false beliefs running. And right now you're saying, make the most of the rest of it. But
Yeah.
what you're not understanding in this moment, because you're still in the middle of connecting your mind and body, but all you have to do is savor every moment for the rest of your life, and everything else will fall into place. Men at our age, I'm 47. I have a friend who's closer to 60, and he's kind of like, oh, I'm worried I'm not going to have retirement. I got a dead end job now. But it's like all of us stopping at this, middle of our age, even closer to 60, 10 years of conscious growth can equal 50 years of unconscious growth.
Okay.
So the guy who's been building for 50 years and he's 60, he's 60 right now. So let's say 40 years. In this last 10 years for my friend who's almost 60, my friend's going to grow a business the same size as the guy who's been growing for 40 years, because my friend's doing it purposefully. He's thinking from beginning from the end, thinking of the end first. He's
Okay.
doing it right. The other guy that's been doing it for 40 years, maybe he was conscious when he started, but most likely he's been just making mistake after mistake after mistake, and he's in the same position.
Yeah.
Same with me. I didn't wake up until I was 42, and I thought I was behind, but I started looking, and apparently the dude who the Colonel Sanders from KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I think he, until he was 45 or almost 50, was just a broke uh dishwasher, tried to sell his, I don't know if it's dishwasher, but just working in the restaurant industry till he was almost 50. And then somebody finally tried his chicken, and boom, look at, he's not even here anymore, and his restaurant's still
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So my point is, there's nothing to worry about. This, even suffering, you said the God of the Bible doesn't want us to suffer. I don't know about that. Suffering brings awakening. The
It does.
harder you suffer, the longer you stay in suffering, the more drastic the awakening is, and the bigger the shift is, and the more that comes with the shift. And so maybe sitting in suffering an extra few years longer than other people, maybe your shift is going to shift you 30 years ahead of them. You don't know.
Well, the thing about suffering, what's done to me is I I have gratitude for the small stuff. Like I have gratitude for the small stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so cool to talk to you. I have gratitude for like, and it's funny, like the scenes, man, eating once a day. I got to start doing that because I
Yeah.
can easily do that. But like gratitude for the food I eat, for like
It's
having.
if you eat once a day, and then like for me, for 2 years I skipped Mondays. I would eat once a day, and every Monday I wouldn't eat. By Tuesday, anything you take a bite of tastes so good. Food is
There
so
you go.
different.
There you go.
And here recently, when I got to the end, I was doing these nature events, didn't make any money for almost a month straight, was down to nothing, had no food, and then I like to do hard shit. So when I saw I didn't have any food, I was like, well, I like to do a 7 day fast once in a while. I've done a 20-day fast. So I purposefully did a 7 day fast. Before I was done with that 7 day fast, I met a new friend who has been bringing me food every day since. You know,
Sweet.
it's
Sweet.
like, it's like, so that was kind of a combination of two things. I had seen something hard come up, but then did the fast. And by the end of that fast, oh man, every meal tastes good.
Yeah,
It
that's
does.
cool.
You learn to enjoy it and savor it.
So
So that's
if I could just have that faith that like if I'm conscious, if I try to be as conscious each moment, present, be present each moment, like in that Zen way, and that things will work out. Because that's what, man, that's what like my guy back east, my Zen teacher back east. I'm like, he's an older dude. I'm like, dude, things will work out. Things will work out. I'm basically transferring. I'm basically, I says, that I'm considering you my dad. I'm treating you like my dad, but it's not around. He's like,
yeah,
things will work out, man. He's like, yeah, they'll work out. They'll work out. They'll work out.
they will. They always do. The best always happens if you just stay calm. Most of our problems come from us reacting, not acting.
Ah, yeah.
Huge difference. You can see it. That's the difference between an argument and a conversation. In an argument, there are two people reacting. They are just two triggers that are just boom, 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 boom. But in an actual conversation, you have two people listening to hear, not, and that's all you have to do with life from now on, is just savor every moment of it, and watch your state when you're not in a high vibe state. That's not a bad thing. Watch it. Watch what state you're in, and you'll learn how to shift yourself out of it. You'll learn what it means, why you're in that state.
Yeah, okay. Because I was, as I say, I was like, man, I just don't want to die alone. I just don't want to die alone. And then I've got this former fiance. As I say, we're still friends, and like,
Yeah.
and I went to, she didn't show me the available apartment that was right near her.
Yeah.
Her female friend did, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's too far away. But a little part of me was thinking, it's close to the little church, because basically, it's like I'm a little desperate. I mean, not for like female companionship, but for like being like alone. Like I don't want to die alone.
Well,
And
here, let me tell you something. Here is the problem with that, and I actually just faced this. In the last 3 months, I thought that I had dealt with my beliefs about myself, and I thought that I believed I did not need a relationship, and I thought that I believed I deserved a relationship, and I thought that I just believed that I was waiting because my last relationship got very toxic. Not my ex's fault. It was just our programs clashed with each other, and it got very, very toxic. And so I thought that I believed all these things, and I was just working on myself. But over working on myself, I realized that there was still a little piece of me that believed I needed a relationship to be whole, just because everyone around me that I thought was whole had a relationship. And there was some part of me that thought I needed a decent income to have a relationship. And in working those things out, I realized that the only way to figure all of this out with a relationship, if somebody is single and they want a relationship, the only way to do it is to literally fall madly and utterly in love with yourself.
ah,
Because until I did that, I would put up with bullshit. I would set boundaries and I would never enforce them. I would not speak up if somebody walked over my boundaries. I would feel I didn't know how. But as soon as I loved myself more than I loved anyone else, because I knew I was the only one that was going to help others, and I knew it was enough ego to know I needed to survive. That was it.
yeah, yeah,
Then I knew to wake up in the morning, do my meditation, give myself everything I needed, and pretty soon, this unconditional love started flowing out so much that it didn't matter what anyone else did. And I realized that in healing myself, I no longer need the approval of anyone else. I no longer need a second person to feel loved or whole. When I have a partner with me, when I have a romantic partner, it feels better because it's nice to have someone with me. But
gotcha.
this last 3 or 4 days, I've been completely alone in 35-degree weather at night, and I've been happy because
Wow,
I am enough by myself. And I never knew that until I fell in love with myself.
that's
So in my
beautiful.
book, The Balanced Life Wheel, I'll send you a copy before the thing. There's a section on how to deal with your romantic relationships if you don't have one right now. And the point is to do all of the stuff in the chapter for romantic relationships for yourself,
Okay,
starting with dedicating every love song to yourself. When you hear a love
okay,
song and you think of the girl in your head,
that's
start
funny.
thinking of yourself, because what's going to happen is you are going to start becoming the person who attracts the partner that you want. You already are. You're looking inside the false beliefs. You're looking at all the things that cause problems in your past relationships,
Yeah,
namely the fact that you didn't believe you were enough.
yeah,
In doing this and falling in love with yourself, you're going to become enough. You won't need a relationship. And right when that happens, you will have all kinds of options. I promise you.
okay. I'll do that. No, because it's like because I'm still in that squirrely, scared version of lack, running around in my mind, thinking, okay, okay, what do I need not to die alone? What do I need to do? What do I need to,
So what you need to do to not die alone is to, from now on, when you see that lack of a partner, go inside and remind yourself of what a good person you are. Keep
Okay,
meditating,
all
keep
right,
falling in love with yourself, start dating yourself. A friend of mine on Facebook, I saw the other day, he wants a girlfriend. I've known him for years. He's been looking for like 2 years for the right girl. I saw a post, he had made breakfast for himself and took a picture with two plates, and he says, I'm making breakfast for me and my girl. She's coming soon.
that's
That
cool, man.
that was I was like, it gave me goosebumps. I'm like, that guy's about to find a partner because
Okay,
he's falling in love with himself.
that's cool, dude. No, that's
He's
cool
got a
because
romantic view and a candlelight breakfast for himself.
it reminds me of like you got to embody what you want first. You got
Yep.
to embody the energy first, and
Think
really,
about
it's
think about it. A girl walks up to you desperate. Hey, you're good looking. Come home with me right now. Here's my number. Call me in 5. What are you gonna
yeah,
do?
yeah. Yeah,
We
I
don't
get it.
run
Yeah,
away.
I'm gonna be scared of what?
Run away.
Scared off.
And subtly, when we don't love ourselves, that's what we're doing subtly. Not
Yeah.
not that bad, but subtly we're giving off those signals of desperation. And so we all it is as soon as you break through this part of yourself and you see what kind of person you are. I mean, you have a lot to offer. You in our times we've talked, our sessions, you've helped me see things a different way by the way you express it. When you
Wow.
start seeing that, you're going to fall in love with that person, and then you're going
Okay.
to know you're okay by yourself, and then you'll attract the partner you need, and it will be the one that your higher mind, the one that source energy attracts for you. It won't be another lesson. It'll be the
Yeah.
best lesson. It'll be someone who wants to learn and grow with you.
Excellent. Excellent. I don't necessarily have to be running around in anxiety and lack. Okay.
No,
Because
right now the fact that you don't have a partner in front of you means the universe wants you to face inward.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
you,
Okay.
you'll, you
Cool.
could go find a partner. There's probably 10 toxic girls around that
It's
are
not
waiting.
even that. It's not even that, It's not even like that because it's more like, okay, dude, if like how far in the future do you see yourself dying alone? Because I still have bad habits. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's you're probably like I've been consulting all these different people. Like my Ayurvedic healer friend. She was like, dude, clean up your place. Clean up your place. You just gotta that's it. Do what you can control. If you
Yeah.
want to live the dharmic path, because she knows me, she's like, dude, meditate. Yeah, it's good, but also clean up your space, dude. Clean up your
Yep.
space.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's why I asked you about being messy. I was like, because yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really. You can kind of see there's a treadmill behind me I haven't used, and
Yeah.
it's just my place is a mess. But okay, man, that's really uplifting. Thank you for
Yeah.
imparting that wisdom.
You're
I
doing
appreciate it.
amazing. That your half hour of mindfulness every day is you falling in love with yourself. It is you getting comfortable with yourself. And as soon as you get to know yourself better, you'll learn you're fun to hang out with. I love our calls. I love when we hang out. So
Man,
yeah.
it's trippy because even like these last few days, it's like I mean, going back to what you did with that spirit that jumped out
Mhm.
that spirit that jumped out of the person, like you did exactly what this psychotherapist said is what you're supposed to do with those entities. You grounded that entity.
Yeah.
You invoked the name of Christ and you drained them and you grounded them. I mean,
Yeah.
the language you used echoed what I heard on
Wow.
this podcast that was, dude, it was 2 days old. It was
Wow.
a fresh podcast.
And
And
see
I
that
even
that is source energy. That's how I from that experience I learned that I could help anyone because it's not me. When wisdom comes through, half the time I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, I just learned something, because it's
yeah,
source talking. Where two or more are gathered, Christ
yeah,
consciousness is there. So yeah, it's amazing. Well, it is 7:22, and I hopefully Wednesday and next Sunday I won't have any plans afterwards, but today I have some stuff I have to go um do, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up here.
sure. No worries, dude. No
But
worries.
thank
No
you
worries.
so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise. It's profound, man. I mean, you're a brother in Christ, man. I'll take care of you before the night's over. You're a
Thank you.
brother in Christ, man. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, about my saying you're a
Absolutely.
brother in Christ. Okay.
Absolutely. I say the same way. I went to a church this morning. It's like a universalist church. And quite honestly, my landlord, the guy I stay outside of his house, he goes and I take him. Most of the time I don't go in because of my past, but today I was just cold and wanted some coffee and went in and I met 30 brothers and sisters in Christ.
That's cool, dude.
I like I said, I don't have the same set of beliefs as everyone else. To me, I see God as like a river of energy, of love, energy. It's an it to me, not a him or a her. But it doesn't matter. That's just how I see it. I can translate when someone says God is good, He's amazing. To me, it's amazing. Yes, we all
Yeah.
are describing something we can't see. So, and
Yeah.
all that matters is the love we have between each other. So you're right. Yeah, I believe we all are brothers in Christ and Buddha and the flying spaghetti monster and any other religion that brings love.
Spaghetti monster. Okay, man. Okay, we'll talk some more. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate
All
it.
right, love
Have
you,
a great
bro. Have
rest of
a
your
good
evening.
night. We'll talk
You,
soon.
you
I'm gonna
take
do my
care.
little exit, so I don't know how to.
Just push leave. I'll hit leave for here.
Okay,
There.
thank you.
Leave
Have
me.
a good night, man. All right, you guys. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. I know a couple people were trying to join and couldn't because I had the wrong link in there. I will have that fixed for the next Zoom meeting. Um, So I hope anyone watching this later and anyone that joined me enjoyed it. I thank you all, and I will say goodbye until Wednesday at 5 p.m. Good night.